Hi, I'm here today to kind of help you get ready for shipping your work to different shows. Most of you as artists, whether you're a two-dimensional or three-dimensional artist, are going to be shipping work at some point in time. Now, the boxes that I'm going to show you how to make and how to do are those for shows where you are delivering the work or you know who is delivering work. These are not going to be the way that it needs to be packed if you are shipping it across country, and they're going to want special boxes. The shippers will come in and do that, or they will sell you special boxes that will hold up to that type of travel. But this is just to protect your work when you are taking it to shows near you or around you and you're hauling the work. Always, before you start to build the box, the first thing you need to do is to check your show rules, because size limitations are going to be important, especially if you are hauling it in your own car or they're hauling it if they're responsible. The limitations are there because of hanging space, of handling space, but also because of space in the vehicle from which they are going to be taking the artworks. So, for instance, this show, the Mississippi Art Colony show, dimensions are 40 by 50 by 6 inches deep. The reason why we only do 50 is because most vehicles will not accept anything wider than 50 to 52 inches to fit into the back of the truck or the back of the SUV. So you've got to pay really close attention to those. But basically what we're asking is that you box your work so that there's a little room in there, but not a lot of room for it to move around, because what we're trying to do is protect the work. So the first piece that I'm going to work with is this piece by Chris Harsh. This is an 11 by 14 inch canvas, 14 by 11 inch canvas. So what you do first is you're going to get those measurements and then add a ½ inch to an inch on all sides of the measurement. So as I mark my cardboard, I'm marking the cardboard 1 inch larger in every direction. This gives me a 12 by 16 inch format to pack the art in. So if you're starting with a flat piece of cardboard, now I know all of you are going, well, where do you get flat cardboard? Well, you can order cardboard from a art supply place. They have it all different sizes, 4 by 5 feet. You can even get it up 5 by 9 feet. I collect it I asked my local furniture places to save me large boxes, and then I cut out sides of boxes. And I save that cardboard for these purposes. Or this cardboard is some cardboard that I got from one of the industries out at the port in Vicksburg, and they have 5 by 9 foot sheets of cardboard that they use for shipping things with. They put it between layers to ship things, and occasionally they will give to artists or to schools or whatever those cardboard that's slightly damaged that they can't use. So check around your community. You will be able to find some type of cardboard to use without going to lots of expenses. Now, notice that when I started marking, if you can see this, I've marked from edge to edge on the boards here. It's important because you're going to score this from edge to edge. Scoring means that you're not going to cut all the way through. Cardboard has 2 layers and a corrugated layer, a top, a bottom, and a corrugated layer inside. You just simply want to score through the top layer and into the corrugation so that it will fold nice and neat for you as you start to build the box. you're going to need to know not only the width and the height of your piece, but also the depth of the piece. This one is 1.5 inches. So I'm going to make the sides of my box 2 inches just to give me a little leeway in there when I pack the box. So it's time to cut. First thing I'm going to do is get a straight edge and a box cutter. I've marked this piece of cardboard. I've given myself a 12 by 16 inch center. I trimmed the entire piece of board down to 16 by 20, which is the size that I need to create my box with sides and bottom. Take your box cutter and simply score along the hard edge. Remember, you're not trying to cut all the way through. You only want to cut partially. Score all sides from top to bottom. It's really simple. If you get off a little bit, it's not going to hurt. It's not like this is brain surgery. This is simply cutting a piece of cardboard. Make sure that when you're cutting your cardboard, just in case you go all the way through, and when you do need to go all the way through, that you have placed, I took some foam core, placed it on the table so that I'm not scoring my table too. I'm scoring only through to the other piece. Then I can take and fold this carefully. You can even lay your hard edge here next to the line, and it will help you to pull that edge up in a nice straight line. You'll need to do that on all sides. Now, there are 4 tabs here in the corners, and you do not want to cut them out. If you cut them out, you can't put the box together. And the first tendency is to just simply cut them out. And then you have nothing there to hold the box together. So what you do, instead of cutting them completely out, decide whether you want your tabs to fold in or over, but have them all fold in the same direction. I'm going to go back and start right here at this point where it comes together, the 2 edges, the 2 lines, and I'm going to score all the way through that, creating a tab that will fold. Okay? Does everybody see that? Then I'm going to come over here, do the same thing, make sure it folds up. This way, when I fold this end, I fold this over, I fold this over, then I can tape or glue those together and I start to create the edges of the box. It starts to become 3-dimensional. Okay? So don't cut these away. They're a very important part of the construction. Now, you can fold it back, which will help you make a crisper line. And then fold it back in. Hold it together. Now, you can glue this and stand here and hold it for 10 minutes, or you can have just regular packing tape cut you about 6 inches of the packing tape. Always make sure to kind of fold this edge back on the roll so that you can find the end each time. You'll need 4 pieces. You pull it together, wrap it all the way around, and then down, letting it overlap. I always start from the edge that I'm pulling in so that I can make sure that I pull it tightly, and it makes a tight corner, or as tight a corner as I can possibly make. As soon as I get this done, that's all it is to creating the bottom of the box. And at this point, you need to check and make sure the art piece fits. Make sure you have measured correctly. And if so, it should fit right in, leaving about an inch of space. Okay? Now it's time to go on to the top of the box. Your top of the box is going to be built exactly the same way, except instead of this being 12 by 16, the top needs to be about 13 by 17 so that it will fit over. It needs to be a ½ inch, needs to be an inch larger in each direction so that it has a ½ inch of space on either side to fit down over the cardboard that you've folded up here. Okay? And I already have this one marked off. So here, instead of having 2-inch borders, sides, it's only going to be coming down 1.5 inches, but that's fine because it's going to fit on like a lid. Score again, making sure not to go all the way through the box. If you happen to slip and go all the way through the box, you can tape that slit so that it works. And you don't have to start completely over at the beginning. But this gives a neat professional look to the boxing and the packaging of your work. It also protects your work from scratches and from being punctured by things being put on top of it. And you never really know once it's out of your hands if somebody else is delivering it or in the space that it's being shown, if those all truly know how to handle work or not. So it's always nice to have that assurance that it's at least going to get there safely, arrive safely, and that once it leaves there, it's going to be safe returning back to your studio or to the buyer. Now, this time, here I put the tabs on the ends. When I'm going to work on the outside, I'm going to put it opposite, simply so that all the bulk isn't in one place. Cut my tabs all the way through. I like packing tape better than duct tape. The first thing y'all are going to say is, can we use duct tape? or can I use masking tape? Masking tape is not going to hold, just from the stress of moving it and shipping it. Duct tape will hold, but it's bulkier, it's not as clean and crisp as the packing tape. And the packing tape, if you're ever going to build one of these and double box it and actually ship it, they're going to require shipping tape instead of duct tape. Some of your shippers will not take duct tape because it gets sticky and gluey if it gets hot and it comes loose. So they're going to require you to use a actual packing tape. And it could be, you could use the kind that's got the monofilament in it that makes it stronger. The neater, the crisper it is, the easier it's going to be for those people handling the boxes in your work. So this tape is a little wide for this top, and sometimes it's going to be. So what I'm doing is I'm simply splitting the tape at the corner and then letting that tape roll over the top of the box, just like this, which makes for a very sturdy corner. And since this is going to be the top of the box, of course, the corners are going to get more stress. Now, I've almost got the box built, and the next question is, okay, I've gone to all this trouble. How do I know that it's going to come back in my box? I've built a custom box. I want to use this box. I may need to use this box for more than one piece. So it all has to do now with the once you've got it packed, now it has to, or built, now it has to do with the packing of your box. Okay? Nice, neat, clean box. So the first thing that I do to pack the box is I take plastic bags, not those scented ones. Make sure it's just a nice, well-made plastic bag, especially if you're shipping things that, like canvases or things that have plexiglass on them, because plexiglass scratches so easily. So I can take the painting, put your label on the back, put your painting in the plastic bag and wrap it. So because the plastic slides, it doesn't allow the plexiglass or the canvases to get scratched so badly. Put it in. If you've got a little space, you can take something as simple as old newspapers. You don't want to pack it so tightly that it creates a problem. Just roll it up, twist it loosely so that it has some air cushioning in it. You can lay it in the side. Fill that 1/4 inch or that 1/2 inch, whatever you've got there, with the paper. Doesn't rattle, it doesn't move. Then, inside, I put a photograph, my name, and the title of the piece, lay it inside the box. And then close it up. Now, on the outside of the box, so that you know you get it back and in the condition that you want it, either on the top or the bottom, you need to attach the same thing again. Just like so. Now to tape that, I take my tape, let it extend about 1/4 of an inch over that image, and I cover the entire image with the packing tape. That way, if it happens to be drizzling rain when they move it in or out, this is going to be protected. It's not going to be smeared, and I know that it's going to be there when it comes back. And on this label, I have written at the bottom, please pack for return in the same box. There shouldn't be any hassle for those people packing and unpacking your work to get it back to you safely. They are working with anywhere from some shows 25 or 30 pieces to some shows that have over 100 pieces in it. And they don't want to be having to spend the time of making sure which box is which. I also attach somewhere on my box a return address label. You may put your phone number on there, you can put your email address on there, but somehow identify it and give them enough information that if this box gets mislocated, people don't have to say, oh, well, I don't know who did that painting. They know exactly who did it and where it goes. Okay? So, and again, I cover the whole thing with the tape. That's another nice thing about this packing tape, is that it is plastic and it is clear. And it gives you a nice professional look to the packing. Then all you have to do is tape it shut and you've got your box ready to go. Labeled on the outside, labeled on the inside, return address, and it fits. Now, you say, okay, well, I don't have access to cardboard. Then find a box that is as close as possible to the size of the work. I save old boxes. I have friends save boxes. Libraries get lots of nice flat boxes so that it'll be close to the size, and then this would be an appropriate size for a regular painting. It wouldn't be too thick, too thin, and it would fit right in there, okay? But if you happen not to have a box that is close so that you can use it, you can always cut a box down. This, of course, is not a box that is great for a painting at this point. It's way too deep. It would take up way too much space when you are storing it and moving it. But I can take my canvas, which fits in here nicely, leaving me about 1 inch all around it. Canvas is 2 inches. So what I do is from the bottom of the box up, I measure my 2.5 or 3 inches, make a mark. On all 4 corners. Take my blade and cut down the corner to my marks. Make sure that you have a nice sharp knife. box cutter, X-Acto blade. Then mark your box. Don't cut it off yet. Just get it marked. Now I'm going to take my blade and score from the top this time. So that all this bends in. Okay? This one you have to be a little bit more careful with because you definitely don't want to cut all the way through. Score from the top. This, of course, is the easiest way, but you have to have boxes that are about the size that you want. And if you can't, you know, it's going to be hard to find a box that is 48 by 48 or 40 by 48. So that's when you're going to have to go to the furniture store, get them to save some cardboard for you, and build your box. Okay? At 12 by 12, you can probably find a box that'll almost fit it. And then I simply take and cut the tabs off because it's too wide. Too tall. If it's not too tall, you don't even have to trim this. These blades are sharp. And you have a perfect box simply by cutting it down, making it the size that you want it to be. Okay? For a regular canvas or even a gallery wrap canvas, you don't want it more than 2-3 inches deep. So it doesn't have to be a huge box because you want to keep it as solid. And from here, you would simply do the same thing that you did before. You would cover your artwork in plastic, add your inventory or your identification sheet inside, add your extra paper so that it doesn't slide around, and then fold everything in, and then you're ready to tape. Now, if I've cut the corners from the outside, the only difference is that as I'm taping, not only am I going to tape the center here, but I am also going to make sure that I tape over and cover each one of those areas that I've scored all the way around the box. That will help to strengthen these corners as you move them on. Then you would add your labels to the outside of the box and it's ready to go. Remember, these then stack very nicely, very conveniently into your vehicle to move to the next show, and everything is protected. I hope this helps. I hope this answers some of the questions on how to build a box and what you need for shipping your artwork. Thank you. Enjoy.